Good morning, good evening, and good night. Whatever time of the day you are watching, I hope it is a good one. If I would have looked into the future and saw that I would be uploading a video on NFL Championship Sunday, I would be doing backflips if this was 2023. I would be like, oh crap, that means the Saints are obviously playing if I'm doing a video on NFL Championship Sunday. But no, in true Saints fashion, this video is about the Saints, but it's not about us actually playing. While I'm literally watching an amazing, possibly classic game between the Chiefs and the Ravens. No, it is about what our star wide receiver Michael Thomas has been tweeting throughout this game. It all started pretty innocently, okay? Michael Thomas tweeted some complimentary things about the Chiefs and Ravens players and how the game was going. But then he tweeted something that was pretty obviously yet again another shot at Derek Carr. And Michael Thomas said, you see what they said about how Mahomes used his eyes there. Wide eye emoji, laughing emoji, hashtag exactly. Clearly he was talking about earlier in the year when he made a reference to how Derek Carr was poor in using his eyes to navigate the field. So everybody obviously knew who he was basically taking a shot at with that tweet. And then, Mike usually just ignores all the replies. But no, Mike apparently has time today because Mike responded to a fan who said, I've been trying to recruit Mike every year. A lot of laugh emojis. I want my in the Chiefs jersey ASAP. Mike responded to that saying, facts. God's timing be the best too. Which, of course, Saints fans took as him saying that he wants to be on another team, preferably the Chiefs. But clearly, it's entertaining or is now openly discussing the idea of him on another team. But he was not done. He was not done because then another fan told Mike, if you can stay healthy, you'll have the stats you had when Drew was around. Mike says, well, if I didn't get set up by a bad ball, I probably would have had a little light over 1,000 yards this year, but could have, should have, I know, I get it. That fan, who I do not think is a Saints fan, responded saying facts. Any change of scenery probably would be best anyhow. Maybe he is a Saints fan. I don't know. His name is Proud Mass Hoy. I'm assuming he might be from Boston. Doesn't matter. Mike responds to that and says, on top of that, they being the Saints, weren't even trying to give me the ball. But there's no denying my style of play. It doesn't age, player. You will see. All right, now, if his earlier tweets wasn't an indication, it is clear now that he is talking about Derek Carr and he is talking about his frustration and his readiness to leave the New Orleans Saints. Oh, but he wasn't done there. He still was willing to continue to fan the flames. And Mike responded to another tweet from the homie TJ who said, LOL, waiting for the Saints got to rid themselves of the cancer that is Michael Thomas report to come out, to try to gaslight the Who Dat Nation. And Mike responded to that saying, LOL, written by Jeff Duncan, but I bet he won't write why no offensive coordinator is taking the job they interviewed for. It's all propaganda and politics. I play the sport the right way, and I will always rise. Now, Mike is on one right now. He also gave shout out to the New Orleans Football Network, a great local sports media outlet. And when a fan told him, but Mike, didn't you, and I brought this up before too, tweet, thank you, Jesus, when Derek Carr signed with us, and Mike said, dang, I can't even thank Jesus. I was in the middle of the ocean celebrating life at the same time. Mike is clearly on one right now. So what are my initial thoughts on the matter? Well, one, it's time. It's clearly time for this relationship, sadly, to come to an end. I love Mike, man. I absolutely love Mike. I will always root for Mike, assuming that he goes to the AFC after this. But it's absolutely time. Unfortunately, injuries ruined what could have been a potential Hall of Fame career. I mean, who would have thought, right? When he sprained his ankle against the Bucks in 2020 in Week 1, you hear sprained ankle as a football fan, you're like, oh, well, that's probably a month at most, right? You see sprained ankles on injury reports all the time, and the players are out there in 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, that sprained ankle ended up just being a free fall for his career to just go extremely downside compared to what his career was up until that point. And it's sad, man. It's really sad. I personally don't think that we will ever see peak 2017, 2018, 2019 Michael Thomas ever again. I think his best days are over. I do think he can continue to be a very good player, probably at best, even a good player, at his worst, but we're not going to see that offensive player of the year, Michael Thomas, ever again. And it's unfortunate. And obviously with his wonky contract that we paid him and that we had to rectify and whatnot, it's obviously just not worth the headache anymore. He is clearly over the regime that Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis have in place, and he is clearly over Derek Carr. Now, I still say this. Mike can talk about, I wasn't thanking Jesus because we signed Derek Carr. I was thanking Jesus because I was, just grateful for life. And that may or may not be true. But Mike was obviously, and it was reported that he was an advocate of the Saints signing Derek Carr. He was on board with it. And silly me, I believe that Mike Thomas, up until now at least, has an influential voice in that Saints locker room. So if your star wide receiver is saying, sign Derek Carr, sign Derek Carr, sign Derek Carr, I'm pretty sure, not that the front office wasn't already on board with it, but if Mike's on board, we definitely want to put more emphasis on signing Derek Carr. So, and I'm not saying Mike is trying to sound like a martyr on Twitter right now, but to me it's miss me with the martyrism. I don't even know if that's a word, but miss me with that because of course the fans are going to rally with Mike now because we all are very frustrated with how Derek Carr's roller coaster season went. But I also think Drew, who has spoiled a lot of fans, really spoiled Mike because ever since Drew has been gone, Mike's basically trashed every quarterback that we've had. He's trashed Jameis Winston and he's trashed Derek Carr now. It's and I'm not mad at it because I say this all the time as a Saints fan when the old head Saints fans come to me and say, oh, you don't remember how bad we had it. Well, I'm like, okay, don't feed me steak and then expect me to go back to dog food. So I'm cool with Mike saying, you know what, I play with a top 5 quarterback of all time. I don't want to play with no mediocre, middle of the pack quarterback. But that's just how the NFL works, Mike. You're not going to always have a Mahomes. You're not always going to have a Lamar Jackson. It would be nice, right? And you are setting yourself up to potentially go to the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Bills next year. Hopefully, again, in the AFC, he stays away from the NFC because I want to root for him. Maybe even he goes to the Broncos, Sean Payne wants to sign every damn Saint that he can. He wants to sign the Saints janitor at this point. But that's just life in the NFL, man. Great players have to make it work with the ingredients that they are given. And so because of all of those things, I'm kind of like, Mike, come on, man. But at the same time, 2 things can also be true. I think that Mike is giving valid statements and valid analysis because y'all know how I feel about the current regime of the New Orleans Saints, right? So him saying it almost is like verification to what a lot of us quote-unquote jilted Saints fans believe about this team and franchise right now. So he has every right to go on his Twitter profile and say what he feels. I don't know. Look, I'm just Jono Barnes, a guy with a camera and a microphone. Obviously, him being a former team captain of the team, his voice resonates a lot more, has a lot more impact. So you can say that it's unprofessional or that he shouldn't be doing it this way. However you feel is however you feel. I feel that his, analysis is correct about the New Orleans Saints right now. But again, part of me just keeps going back to dude, you also were on board with signing Carr. And I know a lot of fans are going to bring up the fact that he hasn't finished a season healthy in 4 years now, which is a valid point. I'm not going to bring it up. It's just unfortunate. And it's a barbaric game in general. So I'm always lenient when it comes to football players with injuries. But all that to say, man, it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. And it's just the start of what we know is going to be an offseason where we lose a lot of popular players from that 2017 to 2020 run who helped make a great culture that seems to now be in shambles. And the top of the regime, and Mickey and Dennis are saying that it's the players' fault. And now, of course, some of the players like Mike and maybe more, it's a long offseason, we'll see, are going to come back and say, nah, it wasn't us. It was, you guys. And who didn't see this coming, right? Saints fans, who didn't see this coming? So it's going to be a very, very interesting, for some, heartbreaking offseason because we're going to lose a lot of popular players, Mike being the first. I wouldn't be shocked if Lattimore is next. It just seems like a lot of our top dogs are now just fed up with the team, man. Mickey has made it clear that he is going to triple down at this point now on Dennis Allen. And if you're not on board with that, then you can get the hell on out. So how are they going to sell tickets with that? How are they going to convince the fans that the sky is blue and that the sun is shining? I don't know. But we'll just stay here and continue to talk about it. We'll talk about this more on the Jono Barnes Show this week. And I obviously want to hear from you guys. So what do you guys think about Mike Thomas's tweets? Leave a voicemail as always at 504-484-9170 and let me know your thoughts on Mike's tweets. Do you think he was in the right? Do you think he was in the wrong? Do you think he's preaching that gospel? Or do you think that he needs to be a little bit more professional? Every opinion is welcome. This platform and this channel is to give you guys a voice because we want to give a voice to the voiceless here on the Jono Barnes channel. At the end of the day, it doesn't move me. I know it's going to go wild with Saints fans on social media, but it really doesn't move me. Now, granted, like, it makes me sad a bit because, dude, I'm a big Michael Thomas fan. Like, look, I am a huge Michael Thomas fan. I love Mike, man. I'm sad to see that this is how his career is kind of unwinding down, if you want to say that, and that this is how his Saints career is going to end. But at the same time, maybe it's a bit of everything with Mike not finishing seasons and not being an elite player anymore, and this franchise just continuing to gaslight us and show us that they are okay with being a mediocre franchise. Like, don't get me wrong, you're going to get a lot of rants from me because I'm this shit more than the game. But, like, it's just like, I know what's coming, so it's not worthy, especially as I'm watching like great football today, which I hope the Saints can one day get back into being in this position of being great football. I just don't have the energy or emotion to like yell or be like really invested in this. Like, Mike, thank you for the memories. I appreciate that you are verifying what a lot of us fans feel about Dennis and Mickey and the future of this team. I hope, man, as a Saints fan, that somehow through all of this BS that we're dealing with right now, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even though I don't think that we're close to that end of the tunnel anytime soon, which makes for a very soon, and is going to scare the Saints front office, malcontent fan base. But they also are going to see, and I've said this many times, you know, this shit more than a game is a rally cry, it's a passion ploy, it's what we are embodied by in New Orleans and Louisiana, but it can be a very, very unfun thing sometimes. And I think the Saints front office, especially those poor people at the ticket sale office, are gonna learn this offseason. And I mean, then again, maybe we might continue to sell out because the shit is more than the game. So, but we'll see. But it's going to be a lot of noise, and I don't know if the Saints can do a PR masterclass like they have the past 2 off seasons to convince the fan base to be excited about what Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen have cooking. So again, though, if you guys want to let me know what you guys thought about Michael Thomas's tweets, leave a voicemail at 504-484-9170, and we will play it on the Jono Barnes Show this week. And to Mike, all I got to say is thank you for the memories. This is basically you officially saying that you will not be back. Because even if you do have a change of heart and say, you know what, I do want to be a Saint, I'm pretty positive that this is the culture change that Mickey Loomis was referring to, where he says some of these guys got to get their ass on out of here. And they're going to say, we're not having this with you anymore, Mike. It was a good run. It should have had a Super Bowl to it, but goddamn you, Bill Vinovich. I guess we'll just continue to stay tuned to see what Mike tweets next, right? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Even if you're not new to the channel, don't be afraid to hit that like button. Hit that little bell notification too to let you know every time I post a new video, a new skit, aka a documentary footage, or we go live, because we got a lot, as always, with this goddamn team. Even on the NFL Championship Sunday, where we have no business even being in the news, we have a lot to talk about. Thanks for watching, guys, and always remember, this shit more than a game. And never forget, $28.03, the price of the This Shit More Than a Game merch, on sale now.